Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the August 17, 2023 Days of Our Lives review, Victor's supporters and opponents recount highs and lows, as well as low-down filthy actions. Recap of Days of Our Lives highlights. Furthermore, Rawlings issued an arrest warrant for Sean, and Abe resolved to fight fire with fire. Let's delve a little more into what transpired. At the Brady pub, Roman, Josh Taylor, begged an irritated Kate, Lauren Koslow, to listen to him after she'd worked herself up about Rawlings, Grayson Berry, treatment of Abe, James Reynolds. He had some awful news, and he needed her to pay attention to him. Victor passed away. Despite herself, Kate couldn't help but collapse into a nearby chair and ponder what Roman's comments meant. Victor, gone, and, in response to Roman's statement that a lot of water had passed under the bridge that was Kate and Victor's past life as lovers, Kate added that it was a bridge that they both continuously burned down. Like that time, she beat him over the head with a fire poker and then set the mansion on fire. But there were also happy occasions. There were times when the two weren't at odds. Those were pleasant and memorable. Kate was also amazed by how quickly she and Victor could put aside their enmity and work together to devise a solution when someone they cared about was in danger. She and Victor were both obstinate and skilled at holding grudges. They were kindred spirits in every way. There will never be another Victor in history. However, in case anyone was wondering, Kate affirmed unequivocally that Roman was the love of her life. Roman suggested calling Philip and informing him of his father's death, but Kate was not interested, and it had nothing to do with Philip being too weak to absorb the news and everything to do with him desperately wanting to return home to mourn with his family. In that case, Philip would be prosecuted for faking his death and attempting to implicate Brady, Eric Martsolf, which Kate will not tolerate, until she eventually agrees with Roman and calls Philip. Days recap. Context is everything. Meanwhile, at University Hospital, Kayla, Mary Beth Evans, processed Victor's death and described it as horrible. Stephen Nichols, on the other hand, wasn't so sure. And he's not saying they should dance on Victor's grave, but he also doesn't think people should forget the kind of man Victor was, the kind of man who hired him to spy on Kayla and Beau, Peter Reckel, the kind of man who trafficked in people like John, Drake Hogestyn, the kind of man who kidnapped and held Kayla hostage and allowed her to languish in jail while pregnant. Kayla acknowledged that everything was accurate and more, but she also remembered how her mother felt about him, and how Victor's family still feels about him. Isn't that evidence that he had a heart and a desire for redemption? Maybe. And besides, she and Steve would never have met if it hadn't been for Victor. In contrast, Chloe, Nadia Bjorlin, and Sanders Paul Telfer, cheerful conversation about his proposal, which was made 28 hours, 36 minutes, and 23 seconds earlier, not that he's counting, was cut short by a phone call from Justin Wally Kurth, which broke Sander. His uncle is no longer alive. Once upon a time, he would have handed up his own life to impress this man. Clint stormed into Sean's, Brandon Beamer, new office and demanded that Paulina Price be arrested for assault. She prickled him. Hard. He has the bruise as well as a doctor's note to substantiate it. In addition, there is video proof. Which decisions will we be most sorry for one of these, dear Wes? Where would Days of Our Lives be if people didn't always make the worst decisions? In Salem, everyone is the king and queen of bad decisions. Our daily lives polling. But who has recently created the largest one? And yes, we are aware that there are some excellent options. Here's what over 2,000 fans had to say about it. 13% of you are wondering what Melinda, Tina Huang, was thinking when she tried to get Leigh, Remington Hoffman, to admit to attempting to murder Stephen, Brandon Barish, when they were on a date. Not only is it a bad method to entice a guy into you, but whatever proof she would have obtained would be inadmissible as well. Melinda, as district attorney, should know better. Even if Lie did blab, she'd made a mistake twice. Chad Demora, hey bro. What was Chad, Billy Flynn, thinking when he took bad advice from EJ, Daniel Fioregal? To 19% of the audience, the concept that what would Stefano do could ever end nicely is absurd. And when did EJ become a relationship expert? This is the man who twice married Summy Allison Sweeney. He has no idea how to make a woman happy. He just knows how to enrage her. Days in the life. Dirt nap. 33% of voters want to know what Brady, Eric Martsolf, was thinking when he considered fleeing with Rachel, Finley Rose Slater. Kristen, Stacey Haydock, would have found him first and foremost. He's not very skilled at concealment. Second, he'd be breaking the law. Third, he'd be stuck with Rachel, who is continually moaning and calling the cops on her father. That approach was unworkable in every way. Sean Brady, I'll raise a glass to it. The biggest failure, according to a winning 35%, was appointing Sean, Brandon Beamer, as police commissioner. He has no prior experience. 3/4 of the suspects who come into the precinct are related to him, and he's a slob. The department is already in disarray. This will not assist at all. Genoa Hospital airs on ABC during the week. For airtimes, check your local listings. Check out all the newest GH spoilers for more on what's coming up in Port Charles, and for an in-depth look at the show's history. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.